What is up, guys, and welcome back to another Discord bot tutorial video. And in this video we are going to be going through your submissions once again. So this is pretty much part 2 of your user submissions. I did do a video previously, I think it was episode 5, where I went through your comments. So I did put out a post on Discord that you can ask any questions that you want, and I will do my best to answer them. So just before we get into the questions, I did mention this in the previous video, but I do have a template for newbies that are looking to create their own C# Discord bot. So I've got this C# Discord bot template repository on GitHub where people can pretty much create their own repo using this template, and then they can make their own Discord bot. So like if you're struggling with making a Discord bot, or you just want a decent starter package, then this repo is for you. So like all you need to do is pretty much create a new repo and just give it a name. I'm just going to do my bot submissions, and then we'll make this public or private, or just whatever. I'll make this private, and then we'll press create repository from template. And what this is going to do is just copy that same template, but it's going to copy it over to our own newly created repo where we can clone it and pretty much use it in VS 2022. So there we go. It's pretty much, it looks identical. So all we need to do is copy and paste this URL, open up VS 2022, and then we clone a repo, paste in this link, and then it will just clone it for us. So like if you're a newbie and you're struggling with creating a C# Discord bot, then have a go at creating your own repo from this template. It pretty much contains everything that you need to get started, like the bot CS file and pretty much all that kind of stuff. So yeah, let's get started on the questions. Okay, so the first question is from Def4M3. So let's open in full view, and he asked 2 questions. So he said, how do you create a voice channel when connected to the bot, creates a new channel and moves the user there, as well as setting up this new channel, closing, opening the maximum number of users in this voice channel, and changing the name of the... Okay, so basically he wants to create a voice channel from a command. I think what we'll do is we'll make this a / command, so it just makes sense to do that, right? So okay, so that's ready. So what this guy wants is to create a voice channel. So it's better to do it as a / command because it's more easier to control the parameters. It's much more it's just a more smooth experience, like that's what I'm trying to say. So what we're going to do is make a / command. Like you can do this as a prefix command if you want to. So what we're going to name this is create VC. So since you want to create a voice channel, we're going to name it create VC, and what this does is creates a voice channel. Cool. And then we'll obviously make a method for it. So public async task, and then create VC, the interaction context. So interaction context CTX. And we're ready. Okay, so we're going to need 2 parameters because this guy said something about the maximum number of users. So a certain limit. So what this guy needs is pretty much the name and the maximum amount of users from what I'm seeing here. So let's do an option. So option, and then we'll say the channel name. So channel name. So this is going to be the channel name, and this is just going to be a simple string. So string channel name. Cool. So that's the channel name, and then we'll do the user limit. So let's do option once again, and then this is going to be called member limit, I guess. So member limit. So there's going to be this is going to add a user limit to this voice channel, and we're going to do this as a string as well. You'll see why I'm doing this as a string and not a long. So if I do channel limit, and what we're going to do is set this to null, because this can be optional. So you can have the option to create it as a normal channel, but you can also add a member limit onto this as well. So if I do long, watch what happens. So long, and this gives an error because as you can see, it says a value of type null cannot be used as a default parameter because there are no standard conversions to type long. So this is just the thing with D# Plus, man. If only they provided int as a parameter type, because we could just do int and then it could easily be converted to null. But you know, like we're just gonna have to do it as a string and then int pass it. So it is what it is. So let's start by deferring the command. So we'll do await and then ctx defer async. So that's cool. Okay, so let's get this channel limit sorted out. So let's turn this into an int variable, right? So what we're going to do is say channel users, and what we're going to do is try pass it. So just in case it doesn't work, we can still do like error handling, because if we just do int pass, it's just going to do it, and then if it throws an error, it's just going to crash the whole program. So what we're going to do is int and then try pass it, so that we can handle the errors if someone puts in a letter instead of a number in this string channel limit variable. So what we're going to do is pretty much do that. So we're going to try pass the channel name, and then we're going to outvar the channel count. I mean, we'll rename this to now I guess, you know, like channel count makes more sense. Okay, so we've passed our channel limit into a int variable. So now what we're going to do is a few if statements. So what we're going to do is say if the channel limit is not equal to null. So this is going to be, you know, like assuming that someone did put in a channel limit. So, and we'll also handle the errors by checking for this, because we want to do error handling, right? So we want to do and then channel users pass returns a true. So what this if statement is, we're trying to check if the channel limit is not null. So someone put in a number, and then we're also checking if this returned true and it actually outputted a actual number. So this pretty much ensures that the right number is going through. So now in here we can create the voice channel. So what we do is say await and then ctx guild, and then we say create voice channel async. So create voice channel async, and what we're going to do is pass in our channel name. So channel name, so channel name, and then there's some optional stuff here. So there's the parent channel. So like we'll just set that to null. There's the bit rate. You don't have to set a bit rate, so we'll just set that as null as well. But we want to set the user limit, so we want to pass in the channel count here. So channel count, because this actually contains our actual channel, you know, past channel name. So this should hopefully create our voice channel, and then what we can do is just, you know, like send an embed message saying that this process was a success or something of that sort. So we'll say var success, set the title as I don't know, created voice channel, and then we'll provide the channel name next to it, and then we'll set the color to Discord color .green, I guess, and then we'll also set the description as you know, like like what the channel limit was set as, because this is the if statement for if the channel limit was passed in. So we need to say, you know, how many users is the limit. So we'll just say the channel was created with a limit of, and then we'll say the channel count plus and then users. So if we pass in 10 users, then it will say the channel was created with a limit of 10 users, and then it will obviously set the limit as 10 users over here as well. So that should all be cool. So all we need to do here is just send the message. So await and then ctx edit response async, and then we create a new webhook builder with the embed as the success message, and that should all be cool pretty much. So we'll make sure to close that off. So that's for if the channel limit is not null. But what if they didn't pass in the channel limit? What if we just want to create just a normal voice channel with no limit, all default settings? So what we can do here is say else if, and then we'll say channel limit is null. So channel limit is null. So here we're just going to do the same thing, but not provide a channel count. So we're just going to provide the channel name, and that's it. So what we could do is just copy over this whole thing. Whoops, I did it outside the else if. So what we can do is just get rid of all this, because we just want to create a voice channel with the name, and then we'll just get rid of this as well. So it's just going to create the voice channel, and then that's it. So that's cool. And then we'll provide another else if. So this is to make sure that this doesn't fail. So what if this returns a false? So what we'll do is say else if, and then we'll say the channel user's pass is equal to a false. So what happens if someone types in a letter instead of a number? So what we're going to do here is just provide a simple error message. So what we'll do is say var failed message. Builder title is equal to please provide a valid number for the user limit. So something like that, and then the color can be red this time. So red, cool. And then we just await CTX, edit response async, new webhook builder with the embed as the failed message. So this should pretty much work, honestly. This should work. So what we're going to do is make sure to test this out. So we'll make sure to register this command. So I need to set up the slash commands config as well. So all right, I'll be right back once that's done. And there we go, we've got a nice create VC command. So hopefully this is what you wanted. So let's give it a test. So we'll just say test, and like let's first test it with no user limit. So if we just press enter, then there we go, we've got a nice test VC up here, and you can edit the permissions and do all that stuff from here, or you can do it within code. So that's up to you to figure out how to do. So let's create one with a user limit. So let's press up on the keyboard, and this time let's add a member limit. So let's name this test 1 as well, just to make it different. So test 1, and okay, let's add a member limit of, I don't know, 10. So only 10 users can join this voice channel. So let's press enter, and okay, let's see, please provide a valid number for the user limit. I'm pretty sure I did. I passed in the string channel name by accident. Okay, so let's restart that. Now it should work properly. So we'll restart, create VC, test 1, and then 10 users. So there we go. So there we go. It's created a test 1 VC with only 10 users as the limit. So as you can see, created voice channel test 1. The channel was created with a limit of 10 users. So there we go. Hopefully that answered your first question. So let's go on to your second question. You said assigning roles when creating when clicking on a reaction to a certain message. So basically you're talking about reaction roles. So like apparently you figured it out. So like you said, I know this can be done through on reaction added event and using switch to check the ID of the desired message, but maybe there is a way to do it better. Well, no, there is actually no way to do it better. Like you pretty much got it on point. So yeah, like that is pretty much how you do it. You go to the event handler, check for the ID of the message and get its reactions, and then, you know, based on the ID of the reaction or, you know, like emoji, you give them the role. So, you know, like you pretty much got it on point, you know, like using the switch statement, you know, much better than if statements. So yeah, that's all cool. And then you said, and then you was talking about the various APIs, which I will cover in the next question. So hopefully that answered your question. That's, you know, like that's how you create a voice channel, and your way of doing reaction roles is absolutely spot on. So carry on doing what you're doing. Let's go on to the next user. The next user is XcoEditz, or like I don't know if I've butchered your name, but okay, it's like it's from this user. Okay, so this guy said, how do I make it so if I upload a video on my YouTube channel, it automatically makes an announcement that there is a new video out, and if it is even possible? Well, yes, it is possible actually. So basically you want a basically like an automatic announcement system that checks a specific channel for new uploads, and then it automatically sends a message to a specific channel that you uploaded a new video. Okay, so let's get onto that. Okay, so in our NuGet package manager, we need to install Google APIs. So what we're going to do is search up Google and an API, and we're going to want to install this one and then also the YouTube one as well. So this is just the base API, and then we're also going to install the YouTube one on top of it. So search up YouTube along that, and then we need the Google API's YouTube version 3. So we're going to install that as well. So those are the two packages that we need for the YouTube notification system for a Discord bot. So once we've done that, let's create a brand new folder for just our YouTube stuff. So what we're going to do is add a new folder, and we'll name it YouTube API, I guess, you know. And then we'll add a new class in here, and this is going to contain 2 files in this. So the first class is just going to contain all the general details about a video. So the video title, the video URL, you know, like the date it was published, the YouTube ID, all that kind of stuff we're going to store in a class. So what we're going to do is make a class called YouTube video. So YouTube video, cool. And this can be public because we're going to be accessing it within the bot. So we're going to make sure this is public. Like this can be internal, I mean, like, it doesn't really matter. We need 5 properties in this class. So first of all, we need the video ID. What we'll do is make a public string and then a video ID, like so. And then the next one is the video title. So public string and then the video title. Next up is the URL. Do public string and then the video URL. And then there's some optional things that you can do. So I'm going to add on 2 things. So the next one is going to be a thumbnail. So public string and then the thumbnail. And then what we're going to do is make a published at variable, because we need the date of when the video was published, so that we can compare it. Public date time and then published at. So published at, and we'll make this nullable, and you'll see why. So a question mark makes this variable nullable, and you'll see why later on. So we're going to save this class and then we're going to close it because we're done with this now. The next step is to set up our API to connect to YouTube and get a video from a specific channel, right? So, okay, let's create a new class in here, and we're going to name it the engine. So this is going to be the main API that's going to drive this whole YouTube thing. So we'll name this engine. Cool. So we'll make sure this is public as well. Public class engine. Cool. Okay, so we're going to have 3 things in here. So the first thing is our channel ID. So like in your case, you said about you know, your own YouTube channel, so you might want to put your own channel ID in here. So what we're going to do is say public string and then the channel ID. So we're just going to put this blank for now. I will set these later on. The next thing we need is our API key. Now I will show you how to get this API key later on, but just bear with me for a second. So public string and then the API key. So we're going to set that to blank just for now. And then we're going to get a current instance of a YouTube video class over here. So that we can store all of our details in this class. So what we're going to do is say public and then YouTube video. And then we'll name it video. So video, and then we'll name it, and then we'll create a new instance of this class. So new YouTube video. Cool. So next of all, I'm going to show you how to get your channel ID and then your API key. Okay, so if you go in a channel, your URL actually contains your channel ID. So it's this bit right here. So the bit after the channel here, this is your channel ID. So I'm going to copy and then paste my channel ID over here. So this will get videos from my channel, just like as an example. So you pretty much have to go to your channel and then get this very link here, and this is your channel ID here. The next is your API keys. How do you get an API key? So first of all, you need to go to somewhere called the Google Cloud Console. So let's search up Google Cloud Console and then press enter. And then the first thing, Google Cloud Platform. So we need to click on here, and then you should be signed into Google and all that stuff. So what you need to do here is create a new project. So like I've already got my own projects here, but I'm just going to create a new one just as an example. So I'm just going to name it blah blah blah. We'll just press create. So like that's cool. It's creating our projects. Cool. And then we go to this project. So let me select this project and then click open. So that's cool. Our project should be loaded there. Okay. So now what we're going to do next is go to APIs and services in the left-hand menu. So APIs and services. And then what we're going to do is click on this button right here, enable APIs and services. And this is where we can search for our YouTube API. So we search up YouTube. And then we should get this right here. This is what we want, right? YouTube Data API version 3. Because that's the NuGet package that we just downloaded. So this is what we want. So we click on this. And then we click on enable. So this will enable the API for us. And then we can generate the API key that we need to connect to this API right here. What we're going to do is say create credentials. So this top right button here. So we're going to press that. And then this is what we need to do here. So which API are you using? So we are using the data API version 3, and we need to click on public data because this will create a API key. We don't want a zero auth client. We want the API key. So we'll click on public data and then click on next. And then it should generate a API key for us. And there we go. It's made a key for us. So like obviously, you know, like you don't want to make this public, but this is just an example, so I don't really care. What we'll do is copy this API key and then set it right here. So we're all set. We've got our channel ID and then we've got our API key for connecting to the API. Now we need to actually write the code to connect to this API and get our latest video from this channel. So let's get onto that next. What we're going to do is say public, and then we'll be returning a YouTube video using this method so that we can use it later on. So the return type for this method is a YouTube video. And then what we're going to name this is say get latest video. So this method is going to get the latest video for us. And then what we're going to do is pass in the channel ID. And then what we're going to do is also pass in the API key as well. So string API key. So you know, like we're not actually executing the code in this class. This is just going to be a template for us to use elsewhere. So okay, let's get started on getting our latest video. So let's create some temporary variables for our details. So like, you know, string video ID, and then we'll say string the video URL, because we are all going to pass this into the class to return from. So title. Okay, cool. So let's get started with the API. So to initialize the API, we say var, and then let's name it YouTube service. And what we're going to do here is say a new YouTube service. So new YouTube service. Cool. In these brackets, we're going to say new base client service. Now, don't worry, that is not getting it for us because we will import this. And then we're going to say dot initializer. And then we do this. Whoops. We do this. And then we close the bracket and then we end it off there. So, okay, this base client service, all we need to do is just import this. So we say using Google APIs .services. And then this should be changed as well. Looks like I spelled it wrong. Okay, so change initializer to that. So that's cool. So like all we need to do is just import the namespace up here. So that's cool. So this is our API. So what we do is say API key is equal to the API key that we're passing in over here. And then next we set the application name. So application name, let's just set this as, I don't know, my application. This, you know, like this actually doesn't matter. Just set it a name. So that's our API, you know, pretty much set up. But the next thing we need to do is perform that search request for our latest video on the channel. So let's create a search request. So let's say var search list request. And we're going to make this equal to the YouTube service dot search and then the list. So in here, we need to set this to snippet. The reason we set this to snippet is because this is the actual key for getting the YouTube video. It will get all its details like the title, the URL, all that kind of stuff. So that's what we want. We want the YouTube.search and then a list snippet. Cool. So let's like set some other parameters for our search list request. So we say search list request, and let's set the channel ID we're trying to search for. So the channel ID is going to be equal to the channel ID that we're passing in up here. Next of all is, you know, like, since we only want the latest video, we need to set the max results to 1 because we only want the latest video. So we do search list request once again, and we do max results, and then we set this to 1 because we only want the first latest video. And then we sort this by order because once again we want the latest video. So we do search list request order, and then we say search resource dot list request dot order enum, and then by date. So this line is what allows us to sort the sort the search results by date from latest to oldest, pretty much. So that's our search request set up. So now the next thing we need to do is just execute this. So we do search list and then the response to our search request. So we do response is equal to search list request, and then we execute this search. So execute. That's it. So this will execute this search. Once we've done that, we need to pretty much go through the response and find the latest video in this search, right? So what we do is a simple for each loop. So we do for each, and then we say var search result in the search list response dot items, because we want to search this because this is what actually contains our videos. So let's do that, and we're trying to check for a YouTube video in this actual search. So what we do is say if the search result dot id and then the kind of search result is equal to a YouTube hash video. So this if statement makes sure that we get a YouTube video and not anything else, right? Not a playlist, not a channel. So we want a YouTube video, and we have to do it in this format: YouTube hash and then video. So here, this is where we actually get to set our video, details. So we set the video ID to the search result dot ID and then the video ID. So this is our video ID of the latest YouTube video from this channel ID. Hopefully that makes sense. And next is the video URL. Now the video URL is actually going to be based off a actual YouTube URL. So this right here. So it's normally www.youtube.com/watch, and then the ID comes after this equal. So we say the video ID over here, right? So like that's the reason we need the video ID, to actually put it into the URL to get the video. So what we can do is end this with a semicolon, and that should pretty much work. So that's our YouTube URL. Next is the title, so video title. So this can be equal to the search result and then the snippet and then the title. So like as you can see, the snippet, there's pretty much everything that you need. There's the title, the thumbnails, channel title, there's like the published app. Pretty much everything is in the snippet class. So we get the title from here, and then for the published app, so video published app, we set this to the search result, snippet, and then the published app. As simple as that, right? Then we can also do the thumbnail. So I'm going to do a string thumbnail up here. So string and then thumbnail. So we'll say the thumbnail is equal to the search result, snippet, and then the thumbnail. And we need just the normal one. So we're just going to get the default thumbnail, and we need the URL of this, obviously. So it's a bit long. So snippet, thumbnails, default, and then the URL of this default thumbnail. So we pretty much set everything here. So all we need to do now is pretty much store it into the YouTube video class and return it so that we can use it later on. All we have to do is return a new YouTube video. Simple as that. It's much easier than just making a variable and saying var YouTube video equals a new YouTube video. All we can do is just return it as is, like we don't need a variable. So we set the video ID here as the video ID, and then the video link as the as that, the title as the title, thumbnail as the thumbnail, and then published at, published at is equal to the video published at. So we made our class and we've returned it once the method is done. So it's still saying not all code paths return a value. So what we can do after the for each loop is just return and then null. So that should pretty much get rid of the errors, because we only want it to return back a new YouTube video if it's got the right details. So like if it doesn't do that, then we just say null, and then we can do error handling from then on. So that's the API stuff done. Now we got to actually program it to send a message when there is a new upload, right? So that's the whole point of this guy's question. It's been a long one, but that's the whole point. You know, like we've got to set the API up, and then now we have to send a message to the channel saying that, you know, this YouTuber uploaded a new video. So let's get onto that final part now. Okay, so we need to be in our .cs file, because this is where we're going to be doing the handling of the messages to, you know, send a message when a YouTuber uploads a video. So okay, let's set it up. So first of all, we need some extra sort of details in this .cs file. So what we're going to do is create some private, some sort of private variables that we're only going to be using within this bot. So what we're going to do is say private, and then a YouTube video, and then we'll say video is equal to a new YouTube video. Cool. And then we're also going to create a new instance of this engine right here, because we want to use it here. So this is what I've been talking about all this time when I said we're going to be using this method later on. We're actually going to be using it in this .cs file. So what we're going to do is make a new instance of this engine class. So we're going to say private, and then engine, and then we'll name this YouTube engine, and then it's new engine. And what we're also going to do is create another instance of the YouTube video class as a temporary class. You'll see why. So what we're going to do is say private, and then another YouTube video, and this is going to be temp. So there's going to be a temporary YouTube video, and like you'll see why I'm going to use this. It's quite interesting. So we say new YouTube video once again. So we've got these things set up now. So next of all is to set up our .cs file to send a message, right? So what we have to do is create a timer that checks every now and then if a YouTuber has uploaded a video, because, you know, like you want this to run alongside with the bot. So we've got this task delay here, which keeps the bot running infinitely. So we want to do it under here, right? So what we're going to do under here is make a simple method that's just going to pretty much execute this method every, you know, 10 to 20 minutes, I guess. Private, and there's going to be async, and then there's going to be a task, obviously, and then we'll name this, I don't know, start video upload notifier. So this will, you know, start that timer basically. So what we'll do here is pass in those details, like the string channel ID, string API key. Here we also need two other things. We need the client, so Discord client as the client, and then really the channel ID to send this message to. So there's going to be a ulong channel ID to notify. Cool. So in this method, what we're going to do is just create a timer that's going to restart every, you know, 10 or so minutes. So what we'll do is say var timer equals a new timer. So we need system.timers for this one. Yeah, okay, so that works. Okay, so this is going to be a 30-second timer. Cool. And then we create the like event handler for this timer. So we do timer.elapsed, and then we say plus equals to subscribe to this event, and then we do async sender, and then e, and then we subscribe to this event. Cool. So this is how you set up the like event handler for this timer. So in this timer, we're going to execute this method right here. So what we do is say the video that we're trying to set, because bear in mind this returns a YouTube video, and we're going to set this variable right here as the result of that method. So what we're going to do is set that as the YouTube engine, and then we'll say get latest video. So we're going to execute this very method, and then obviously this needs the channel ID and then the API key. All right, yeah. So one thing I've just realized is that we actually don't need the channel ID and API key because we've already set it here. So we're going to just pass in the client, and then we'll get rid of these, and then we'll get rid of these parameters as well, because we've already made our channel ID and API keys up here. So that should be set. Yeah, they've all set itself. So all right, that's okay. That's just a small mistake. Okay, so that's cool. So what this is going to do is get our latest video using the channel ID and the API key that we set right here. It's just going to execute this whole method right here. What we're going to do is create a variable called last checked at. So we'll say var and then last checked at. So this variable will store the last time a check was executed. So we're going to set that to date time now. So pretty much every time this method executes, it's going to set this variable, or it's pretty much going to update this variable to the current time. So this will be our time when it last checked for a new YouTube video, if that makes sense. So that's cool. After this get latest video method has finished, we need to check if it actually returned a video, because it might not have returned a video based on what we provided, because there might not be a new upload, or like there might be no videos on the channel. So what we need to do is simply say if the video is not equal to null. So this will make sure that we're always getting a video every time, right? So this is the first check. The next check is to check if the video is actually new, right? So what we do is say if the video, and then we get the published at. So we're trying to compare if this date is less than the last checked at date, because we want the latest one, right? So we're going to say less than, and then the last checked at. So we're trying to make sure that this is the newer video, right? So if there are any new videos since the last checked at time, then upload the video to the text channel, right? So in here, like we send our message. So we say var message, and I'll just paste in a template I've got here that basically gets the video. So as you can see, new video, and then it gets the title, published at, and then it gets the date, and then it posts the the URL at the bottom as well. And then all we got to do is send this message to the channel. Now there's different ways to do it. In my example, I'm doing it to a specific channel. So you guys might do it to multiple channels, or it's going to be different for you lot, and that's for you lot to figure out. But I'm going to do it to a specific channel where you can pass in the ID. So what we do is say await, and then we just say client, and then we say get channel async from this channel ID. So we say channel ID to notify, and then we don't do this. And once we've got the channel, all we do is say, and then we get as a result after getting the channel, and then we use send message async. Simple as that, the message. So it's pretty much all been done in one line. But once we've done that, we're going to set the temp variable as the current video. Now, this is a pretty major thing, because like in this method, we only want to make sure that the newest videos get through. So we're going to set this temporary variable as the current video, and then we're also going to do another if statement. So what we do is say else if. What we'll do here is compare this video, this current video that it's getting, to the temporary one, because once again, we only want the newest one to get through. So we don't want the same one getting through all the time, right? So what we do is say the temp video title, so temp.video title is equal to the video title. So if these two variables are the same, then don't do anything. This approach makes sure that only the newest videos get through. So what we can do is just say console.writeLine, and then we'll say, I don't know, same video detected. What we can actually do is just pretty much flip this around, because we actually want to execute this check first, because we actually want to check if the temp video title is the same as the video title that is got from this method. So we want to do this first. Pretty much every 30 seconds it's going to execute this method. It's going to execute the method that we just wrote, the get latest video. It's going to get the latest video using our YouTube API, and it's going to set the last checked at to the current time, so that we can use it to compare in these if statements. So what we're doing here is we're doing our first check. So if it actually returned a video, so we need to check if a video actually exists. So if the video is not null, then we proceed to the next set of if statements. So the first thing we do is we check for the same video. So if it got the same video, then we don't do anything. But if it got a new video, then we send it to the channel. Like after this whole event handler, we say timer.start. So this starts the timer, and it's going to loop itself around every single 30 seconds because we don't want to stop this, because we want to continuously check if there's a new YouTube video. Because like this guy said, yeah, so he wants it to automatically make an announcement. So we want this to run 24/7 pretty much. So this is going to check for 30 seconds. You can pretty much increase this to 2 minutes or 10 minutes to pretty much ease in it, because like if you do every 30 seconds, then it's going to be like like a lot of stress on the bot. So I would advise you to set this higher, but as a test we're going to do it for 30 seconds. So that's that all set up. So now in the actual bot CS file, we need to actually execute this method. So what we do here is we want to say await and then start the video upload notifier. We want to do this before the task delay, because this is running infinitely, right? So we do it over here. So let's pass in our details. So what this needs is the client. So let's pass in the client. Whoops. And then it needs the channel ID to notify. So I'm just going to do my channel ID as a test here. So we'll just copy and paste this YouTube channel, I guess. So copy ID. Yeah, okay, that works. So yeah, we passed in our client and then the channel ID to notify. So okay, let's give this a test. So what I'm going to do is put a debugger at this point right here. So I'm going to upload a test video to my channel, and then we're going to see what this does. So let's get that test. So what I'm going to do is open up YouTube Studio. I'm just going to upload this short meme. So what we'll do is just say test, and then we'll press next, 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 and then okay, we won't make it public just yet. So what I'm going to do is start up the bot. So start. Okay, cool. So looks like that's all ready. Yep, okay. So what I'm going to do is quickly publish the video. So publish. So it's going to be public. Okay, cool. So that's all public. And then we wait 30 seconds to see if the debugger is triggered. Okay, so it looks like the debugger was triggered. So the API is working. So let's check what video is. So if we go into the details of the video, as you can see, it's perfectly working. It's got our video title as test, because as you can see in our YouTube Studio, we uploaded a video called test. So okay, let's step through it. So okay, now it's going through the first check. So temp right now is null, so it's actually not detecting a same video. So this means it is a new video, right? So we go into the else if. So was this published at less than the last checked at? And as you can see, it returns a true. So it's going to execute this part of the if statement. And if we press continue, then we should get a nice message in our channel. There we go. Look at that. That's pretty cool, isn't it? So it's a new video as our video title, published at 27th of March 2023, and let's put our URL right here. Now let's wait another 30 seconds and let's see what happens next. Okay, so it looks like the debugger was triggered again. So let's see what happens this time. So it's got the same video. So it's just going to check every 30 seconds to see if there's any new uploads, and it's always going to get the latest video. So let's step through it once again. So it's set our temporary YouTube video as the last gotten video. So now let's see what happens. So temp right now is that test video that we just uploaded, and the video that it got was test as well. So these two are equal. So it's gonna go to that if statement. So as you can see, same video detected, and it's just gonna end that if statement. So as you can see in the console, it says same video detected. So this always makes sure. So once again, I have to reiterate this all the time. This makes sure only the new videos actually go through. It works. So as you can see, it got our new video, and that's how you upload YouTube notifications to your channel. So it was a bit of a long explanation, but for your first question, it is a lot to get through, man. Honestly, you know, like setting up the API and doing all that kind of stuff, it is a bit of a long process. So that's what you have to do, pretty much. So like, it would be advised that you make this higher. So if we do 10 minutes into milliseconds, so if we type in 10 minutes into, so set this to 600,000. So if we set this to 600,000, then it's going to check every 10 minutes. So, you know, like, once again, it's literally up to you, but you can set it for 10 minutes or 5 minutes. Just don't do it in less than a minute, because it will overload the bot. So hopefully that answered your question about how to send a notification to a Discord channel if you upload a YouTube video. So that's all the code to do it. It will be in the GitHub repo in the description below, so that you can have a look at it. So alright guys, so this is going to be part 1 of your questions. So I'll be doing a part 2 video, which will come out a day after this video has been uploaded, since you guys asked a load of questions. So stay tuned for part 2, where there'll be a massive ChatGPT surprise, because that was the main submission of all of these submissions today. A lot of you asked how to implement ChatGPT into a C# Discord bot, so stay tuned for part 2 to find that out. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like the video and sub to the channel, and I'll see you lot in part 2 of the submissions video.